Hi, Cancers. Happy solstice. It is June 21st, and we just had the sun move into Cancer. I'm not like a hardcore astrologer. I know this because of my good friend Felina Kavi, who does great astrology readings, and so I take cues from her on all that stuff until I can learn it for myself really well. I dabble in it, but there's also Venus and Mars conjunct one another, which is like masculine, feminine energy trying to come into balance. So you might be having some issues and some frustrations with your masculine and feminine sides, or the masculine in another person and your feminine in another person, or vice versa, competing or butting heads. So just try to stay clear with your intentions during this time so that you can overcome this, because it could be a little bit of chaotic kind of energy, and not traumatic, but maybe dramatic. So I'm going to just pull some cards for you guys, because it's soon going to be birthdays for many of you. So happy birthday. And that is the one that wants to come out first. Ooh, isn't that interesting? So I'm going to do past, present, future energies. And the first card we have out in the past is Magician. So this is a mad manifester right here. This guy has all of the tools that he needs to manifest his reality and to pull them like from the ether, from the thought realm into reality. And that's why he's like pointing downwards into the ground. Like he's pulling things from the thought realm into his own reality and manifesting it here on this plane of existence. So that's a really important card. I mean, it's the number one in the major arcana also, whereas 0 is pure potentiality. The 1 is now we're starting to create, and we're starting to manifest, and we're starting to step into our powerful aspects of humanity. So that is your first card in the past. Second card, we have Temperance in the reverse, and then we have 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. Temperance is about balance and finding some balance. So in the past, I feel like though you're manifesting a lot, or you have this power to manifest, you're not manifesting in balance. There's something out of balance, and especially it could, because he's holding liquids and he's mixing liquids, it can be like an over tendency to drink or indulge in drinking. The point of this card in the upright is to mix and match until you find what it is that works for you. But in this regard, in the reverse, it's like it doesn't want to mix and match. He just wants to land on this one thing and stay put. And so this is you needing to try different things and to find what gives you balance and what gives you that solidity that you need on the one foot that you have on ground, and then to also dip a toe or so in this watery realm. This can represent your emotions as well. So it's like a balance between, again, masculine and feminine energy, between being solid and grounded and earthy, and being a little watery and being able to flow, which is what a Cancer, you're a water sign, so you should be able to go with the flow and process your emotions and not subdue them to the point where it's building up in you. This 3 of Pentacles, it's coming up in the reverse. Normally 3 of Pentacles in the upright symbolizes like a group effort, a group of 3 people usually, working towards something. It's if I remember right, it's air, water, and fire working together to create something that is a masterpiece. This can be like a person who is a virtuoso in their skill set. It's developing a skill set to the extent of mastery. But in the reverse, it's like you're refusing to work with others. You're not building something. There's something that you're not building with this collective group, or you're denying the collective group, or you're denying the infusion of group energy. And so maybe it's that you want to go it alone. You might be being a little bit stubborn with this Magician energy. And there could be a sense of manipulation as well with this Magician. Now that I really incorporate him with the other 2 reversed cards, he's the type that he has all these powers, but he can use them for positive manipulation of the energy in his world, or he can use them to manipulate other people. And so be careful that that's not, I mean, that could be, this is all in your past. So this could have been you at some point where you're kind of manipulating a group energy, or you're manipulating the energy in a way that makes it so that you don't have to comply to a group or a standard that a couple of other people that you might have been working with has set. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, there's like a black, it's hard to describe, but in the reverse position, I always say it's like you're digging yourself a hole. It's like you're digging a basement. Whereas in the upright, the artwork, like I said, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, shows this masterpiece that's arching towards the sky. It's an arch that kind of comes to a point, but then when you reverse it, it looks like it dips down. And so, but there's also something about the feminine receptive quality in that symbolism. Like I said, this symbolism is totally different than the traditional Rider-Waite, but I just wanted to bring it up. There's something about the symbolism of the feminine, because it's like this kind of, it's like a bowl shape that comes to a point, and that is often, that's through eons of time, the symbolism of the womb, or the feminine receptive quality. Even in the Freemasons, you see the square and, oh my gosh, I can't remember, but one goes this way and the other one goes this way. And so this is the receptive female, and then the other way represents the masculine. So I just wanted to bring that up. So there is, you know, you could be needing to really balance that masculine feminine, because this is a very masculine energy. And these are, I mean, they can be seen as both, but this is about, you know, finding that balance and that ability to assimilate both sides. I'll come back to those and clarify. So in your present, we have 3 of Cups, 8 of Swords, Knight of Pentacles. 3 of Cups can be, again, celebration. It can be hanging out with friends. It can be partying a lot. Sometimes it can be overindulgence. It can be drinking in excess. Sometimes this symbolizes a third-party situation. So if you're like in a relationship, it could be. I don't really like to always like mention that. I don't want to put, you know, plant a seed that doesn't belong and make people paranoid or whatever. So just take what resonates. But it is under the Magician card, which, again, this can be manipulative energy. So there could be some kind of third-party situation possibly happening, if that's something that resonates with you. The 8 of Swords in the reverse, it's like you're finally starting to come out of this fiery, trapped feeling. In the upright, he feels that he is trapped in this fire and by these swords, but really there's an opening right here, and his hands aren't even bound. His feet aren't bound. He could walk right out of there if he wanted to. So all that's keeping him bound is his own thoughts and beliefs that he is trapped. So this is like a victimization, a self-pity kind of a thing where it's like you want to stay trapped in this energy, but all you have to do is walk right the fuck out of there and remove the blindfold and walk through this pathway that has been created for you by these swords. They're not trapping you. There's nothing trapping you but your own thoughts. So it's kind of a stubborn energy as well. We see this bull here, like the Taurus energy or an Aries energy, that it can be very stubborn and solid in wherever it wants to rest and remain. So I'll pull some more clarifiers on that. But with these two in combination, it's like there is something that you're not willing to see, that you don't want to see. And instead, you like rather indulge over here in partying and drinking and getting it out of your system that way. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Knight of Pentacles can be an earth energy. It can be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It doesn't have to be. This can be your energy. Knights also symbolize situations that are changing and forward movement. He is the slowest knight of the bunch, but he's normally doggedly serious and has a lot of intent and focus. He knows exactly where he's going. So even though he moves slowly, he is like sure to get to where he's going. Whereas the other knights rush in, and sometimes they can have to pull back their energy just as fast. This guy takes it very slow pace, but it's the slow and steady wins the race kind of an energy. And in the reverse, it's like you're denying that, or you're wanting to rush into something. It's not moving as fast as you want it to move. It feels like it's stagnant and it's not going anywhere. So you just need to have patience with this, and you need to be okay with this energy moving slowly, because when we move too quickly, when we take 3 steps forward, we might be forced to take 2 steps back, or even 4 steps back because we went way too far, too fast. And then that's not progression. So we have to keep in mind the end goal here is the progression and the end of the line. And so if we can't, it doesn't matter what method we think works best. If it's not getting us to the end of the line or to the goal, then obviously we need to change our method. We have to be able to make changes. So this can, because it's an earthy energy, it can be stubborn also. So just be careful that you're not being too stubborn, and that you're applying patience in your life for whatever it is that needs to come about. In your future, we have the Death card in reverse, King of Cups, and the Empress. So Death card in reverse is like an ending that's trying to happen, and you're not letting that karmic cycle go. You're not letting it end. You are resisting this change. But with the Death, and this can be Scorpio energy as well. With the death of this cycle comes a rebirth. There's something new coming in, and you need to allow that energy to dissipate and bring in something new. So with the Death card in reverse, it's like you are, I mean, it could be that you're coming out of this energy, but it can also be that you're resisting it. So take what resonates. So you could have had the end of a cycle already happening, like in your present or in your past, and now you're starting to finally come out of this death cycle and have it like a new rebirth, where you're applying yourself in a different way. And this is you sitting. This is Cancer. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It's a water sign. It's a masculine energy, but it's a man who has his shit together, and he has his energy and his emotions in check. So this is in your future energy, so this is good. I like to see that following this Death card. It's like you're pulling it together. You're getting a hold of your emotions, and you're reaching a level of maturity that you have not had before. So that's really good to see. And like I said, you need to start facing some of these emotions. As a Cancer, it depends on what else is in your chart. If you have a lot of like air in your chart, then that leads you to, be more in your head and to think more. So you can look up your birth chart and see these different aspects about yourself besides just the Cancer, because Cancer, the Sun in Cancer is just one aspect of your personality. There's your moon and Saturn and Jupiter and all these other planets, and you need to see where they conjunct with other planets, or where they trine, or just the different aspects of all the different planets. There's a lot of variables that go into someone's birth chart, but it could be very helpful. So I urge you to look that up. Just type in birth chart or natal chart, and then go to the website, whichever one you choose. Cafe Astrology has a free one. And then type in your information. It just asks for your birth date, your name, your place of birth, and your time of birth, if you know it. And then it'll give you just a slew of information about yourself. It's really fascinating, actually. So it could be a very helpful tool. The Empress card. So this is about nature and motherhood and pregnancy and birth. There could be something that you're pregnant with, not in a literal sense, if you're a man, or if you're a woman, but if you are a woman who is fertile, you need to be very careful, because this could be pregnancy. I don't have any other indication necessarily that there's any kind of pregnancy here yet. We'll see what the other cards come up with when I pull clarifiers, but it could be just the symbolism of being pregnant with an idea or with something new that you want to give birth to. This is nature. This is allowing nature to do what it does best, which is grow and plant more seeds and just continue this cycle of beauty. And there's a lot of beauty to this card. This can be a card of love, like new love, although I don't see any other indications of that necessarily. So it could just be a new project that you're working on, or a newfound love for some kind of hobby, or like I said, a project or something that you're really taking on as your baby. This is your baby, and you're giving it all those aspects of that nurturing and motherly care that a mother would give her newborn baby. So this also can symbolize Taurus. This can be a Taurus coming into your life. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers. So Seven of Pentacles on King of Cups, this is you needing to wait for like a divine timing. This is you planting seeds and then waiting and nurturing them and waiting for them to grow. And there's, in the divine timing, you need to know when it is that you can pluck the fruit. In this card, there is no fruit on this plant, but in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's a man sitting looking at his plant, and it has all these pentacles on it, and some are on the ground. He needs to know when it's ripe. Some need to stay on the plant a little longer in order to ripen. Some are ripe for the plucking, and some have already fallen to the ground and dropped new seeds, and he's missed the opportunity to pick them. So this is about what you've been cultivating, what you've been, obviously she's caring for this plant. There's like some crystals in here as well. She's really nurturing and caring for this plant. And through that time and that process, again, with patience, you can cultivate something beautiful and collect the rewards at harvest. So there could be a built-in timing of harvest, like November, fall time period. The Empress, clarified by the Five of Pentacles in reverse. In the Five of Pentacles in the upright is usually feeling left out in the cold, like someone has abandoned you or someone has left you in the cold. But there is a door here. I mean, we have this vicious looking German Shepherd barking and at these two women, and one is carrying the other away. It's like whatever this is that you're going through it with someone, or you're not alone. Like there's someone else right by your side going through this with you. In the reverse position, it's just a little lesser, like you're coming out of this. You're finally coming out of this feeling of being left out in the cold. And so maybe it's that nature has this very healing quality. So maybe you need to be out in nature more, or you're getting out in nature more, and so that's helping you heal from whatever wounds that you have here, of feeling left out in the cold. And she is very, nurturing and motherly, like I said, and embodying all these beautiful aspects of motherhood and womanhood and femininity and creativity. And a lot of green down here. I'm going to actually shuffle these in order to take more. So I want to clarify the Magician. In your past, that was the very first card that had come up. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is, this is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This is also like a true love. This is like a love opportunity. This is, so in your past, there was some kind of manifestation of love, and it's like an overflowing of emotion. I mean, it can just signify emotions in general, but this is very indicative of true love, and it's like a new love. It's like a new love offering that's coming your way, and it makes you feel full and fulfilled and overflowing to the point where we have all this water, you know, in the ocean or in whatever kind of body of water you want to see that as, like maybe a river, and it's like it's flowing. So it's like in the past you had manifested some kind of love, but maybe there was no balance with this Temperance card. There was a lack of balance going on here, and a lack of ability or willingness to work together with someone or with a group. Let me pull another card on that. Six of Swords. This is interesting. So, Six of Swords in the reverse with these, I'm reading this as this is normally you moving from one shore to another, like you're moving to calmer waters or different shoreline. You're moving away from something. And we have the Hermit here who's like guiding you basically, and that's your inner guidance, that's your inner source, that's the inner work that you've done. It's like the river Styx, and he's guiding you along the river Styx here, and you are in a mode of self reflection and study, and you're processing a lot of things internally during this journey. And it's almost like there's something that you have to give up. There's a sacrifice that has to be made. She has this box here where, you know, you're not sure what's in it, but it's obviously something, it's like her sacrifice that she's giving up for a spiritual quest. This is very much a spiritual card. In the reverse, all of what I just said, it's like it's being denied. It's like you're not allowing this natural movement to happen. You're not allowing yourself to go down that river in order to find that new shore, that new, those new waters. You're resisting that change. You're not, it's like you're not willing to make that spiritual quest. You're not willing to make the spiritual quest, nor are you willing to give up, you know, to sacrifice. So at certain times in our lives, we need to know when it is that we have to let go and let the universe direct us or guide us. And in this case, it's like the Hermit symbolizes sort of the universe, or the elder, or the master of his emotions and his self, and the man who has worked really hard to attain the knowledge that he needs to gain in order to disseminate that wisdom to others. And so he's assisting her. It's almost like a shaman, kind of a guide. He's guiding her. You can see this is also like a spirit guide or something as well. But he's the enlightened one. He has all the knowledge, and he's put in the work because he has done the time to be alone and to be alone with himself and his thoughts. And he's cultivated that in himself, that wisdom and that knowledge, because he has he's already been here and done this sacrificial, what I want to say, gesture. So in the reverse, again, I feel like there's something that you've in the past that you have denied, a change that you've denied, of movement from one place to another. It could be a physical move also, that didn't work out, or that you're resisting, that you need to move, that you need to physically move from your home, and you're not doing that, or to another location. Let me just pull one more. Okay, so there's a Queen of Pentacles coming up to clarify that Six of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles is a very nurturing aspect. Again, similar to the Empress in a way. They have a lot of similarities in their characteristics, but they're also both earthy signs. So this could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It doesn't have to be. It also doesn't have to be a woman. This could be a man that embodies these qualities. It is basically, in essence, just the embodiment of nature and really nurturing energy. It's a motherly, nurturing, loving energy again that that benefits from being out in nature, and that absorbs that natural flow of energy that nature provides us, and takes it and cultivates something beautiful with it. And you can see she's holding this coin as if it's her baby. So the coins represent the pentacles represent like material wealth and finances, our material possessions. So she's really cradling something that is very important to her, and she's holding on to it, and she's looking down and not really paying attention to anything else. And that can be a great thing. But I feel like it might be a distraction. Either this was like a love interest that goes along with this. It's kind of, yeah, a little difficult to read. Or this is you focusing too much on the material. You're focusing too much on the material, and you need to focus more on emotional and relationship issues or spiritual issues. That you're too locked into the material, and that's diverting your attention away from the spiritual or the metaphysical. So there could be a real need to focus on the metaphysical and to embody this Queen of Pentacles. And again, this is all in the past. So there could have been this Queen of Pentacles in your past who was a very nurturing, loving energy, a very feminine energy. That could have been you embodying that energy. But I feel like in this situation, it's like you're too honed in. If that's you, you're too honed in on that material stuff. And so you're not making this connection with the Six of Swords. That's why you're denying that aspect, that spiritual growth that you need at this point in your life. I'm going to go to Temperance here and clarify that card. Let's clarify Temperance in the past. The Star card, this is a beautiful card. It is coming up in the reverse. This is the card of Aquarius. It's the card of healing. It's the card of hope. And it really does signify, to me, it signifies healing. I mean, it's interesting because she has two containers of water that she's dumping both out, and he has the containers of water. So this is like he's denying this aspect of balance within himself, and so he cannot get to the healing that he needs. So you're denying this healing aspect. It's like you you want to lie to yourself, and you want to tell yourself that you're healed and that you're balanced, and that you're manifesting all the right things. But then when the negative things come along, you had nothing to do with that manifestation. And we can't do that. We have to take both sides. If we're manifestors, then we're not only manifesting all the positive things in our lives, we're manifesting some negative as well, if that's the case. Sorry, excuse me a moment. So the Star is urging you to get in touch with the healing aspects of your personality and what it is that you need to heal. You need to start being really honest with yourself as to what it is that you need to heal from, and how to achieve that. I did one more. Oh, okay, that guy wanted to come out. So with the Three of Pentacles, I have the Two of Wands in reverse. This is like you not wanting to walk through a doorway. This is, again, you being stubborn. You've literally tied yourself to these two posts, and you have two options. You may have more than one option, or more than two options, but at least two options, and you can't make a decision. You are just undecided, and you just say, like a child, I'm just gonna sit here, and I'm not gonna decide one way or the other. I'm not gonna move through. This is almost like a doorway, like you can move through the two wands, and you're choosing not to walk through that doorway. And you are looking at this bird, which is a symbol of like your inner self. It's like your inner child or your inner self, and you're trying to have a conversation with it. But here you're just denying that aspect, and you're not wanting to stand up and move forward. You just want to stay tied to this tree trunk, basically. It's also a card of looking at having the world in your hands, having everything that you need in your hands, but yet still wanting more. There's still more. And so you need to come to a point where you're satisfied with whatever it is that you have, and that you, excuse me, that you make a choice as to what it is that you actually need in this world and what is just excess at this point. So this can also be travel. This can indicate travel as well. And it's like you're waiting for something to happen for you. You're waiting for the answer to come to you instead of going out and searching after it. And you're just going to sit here, but you're going to waste your time because the answers don't come without you putting forth the effort. So if you just want to sit here on the stump, and wait for something to happen, it's not going to. You have to make it happen for yourself. Okay, so in the present, let's clarify the Three of Cups. What's Three of Cups here in Cancer's present? The Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is normally in the upright. You have a lot of reversed cards here. So in the upright, it is about you walking away from something that no longer serves you. And you're leaving these cups behind that once fulfilled you, but now they do not, or there's a need to move on. And so you're leaving these cups behind for someone else possibly to find. In the reverse, it's like you're denying that moving on, that moving forward, or there's something that you haven't seen yet, or that you're not getting the message, or you're afraid to move into this new territory. And you might be focusing on that one spilled cup, like you're crying over spilled milk kind of a thing. Like you're still sort of bitter, too bitter to walk away. And pay attention to moon cycles. We have the half moon there. And the moon only illuminates so much for us. So there's a need to dive deeper and wait for certain cycles so that we can see everything before we make our decisions, because the sun illuminates everything, and the moon actually creates more shadows. So we need to be careful that we make decisions to abandon something when we are of level, on a level head, and that we see everything that needs to be seen before we make those decisions. But there's definitely some kind of emotional attachment or something going on in your present that, because we do have, the cups here. And it's, okay, so the World card. So you feel like you have missed the world, or it's not quite coming to a close like you wanted it to. The World card in the upright is a lovely card. It is about culmination of the energy of the Fool's journey. It's taking the energy of the Fool and going through all the archetypes of the arcana or of humanity, and then getting finally to the World card, the culmination or the end of the cycle, where you are on your highest path and you feel like the divine is guiding you, and you have this like wreath of protection, and you are in balance and in harmony with these cycles of time. In the reverse, it's like you're in disharmony. You're out of harmony with these cycles, and you're denying these cycles as they need to progress. You could be having this kind of almost like a pompous, like, fuck it attitude. Like, screw you guys, I'm doing my own thing in here. I don't care what like, outside of the wreath, outside of your little circle, anyone who has anything negative to say, you're not even paying any attention. You're not listening to that at all, and you're just doing your own thing. But that can isolate you. That can isolate you. I'll come back to that, maybe. Let's just go ahead and pull one more card on that. Or flip out like 5 or 6. Holy cow. 1 second. Okay, so we have 2 of them that I pulled out, or that I got off the floor, was 3 of Swords and the Queen of Swords. 3 of Swords is heartache or pain. I mean, it can't even be a surgery or literal cutting into the body. But these swords are falling away in the reverse. So they're starting to fall away and come out of the heart so that the wounds can heal. So there's something that you've chosen to walk away from. And it could be, there's this Queen of Swords is Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy. It's an air sign, usually a feminine energy, but it doesn't have to be. And the Queen of Swords is normally like a very cutting kind of energy. She will cut out any bullshit. She wants to get to the truth of the matter. She says, don't come at me with any lies or bullshit. Come at me with only truth. And so in the reverse, she can be sometimes kind of bitchy or cold, or not embodying those qualities that make her the Queen of Swords, which is knowing when to cut someone out or when to cut something out, whether it's, just some kind of bullshit, or if it's a person that needs to be cut out. When she's in the reverse, it's like she's denying those intuitive aspects about herself. She's denying the logic and the reasoning that go behind these decisions that need to be made. And she's very head oriented in her decision making, where this is obviously very heart oriented. So it's like the head and the heart competing with one another. And it's just causing kind of a heartbreak all around. And I feel like until you get past this, you're not going to get to this world in the upright. It has to, it needs to flip, because right now it's in the reverse. So you're not getting to the world. You can. This is all changeable energy. This is just potential energy. So it's not fate. It's not set in stone. But it seems like with these threes that either there's some kind of like third party situation that could be going on, or there's if we take out the threes, when I see this, it's like you're drowning yourself, your sorrows, in drinking and partying and being amongst friends, or just party people. Maybe there's weddings going on. Maybe you could be having celebrations. It's like you're just distracting yourself from the pain of this. And those swords need to fall away, and you need to face that in order to let them fall away, and then, like I said, heal. And you're always going to have scars from this, whatever this event is. It's characterized by, you're going to have scars. But the important part is to get those swords out of the heart in order to let those wounds heal. Okay, Eight of Swords. The Tower card. Okay, so the Eight of Swords is clarified by the Tower card in reverse. So I see exactly what's going on here. This is you denying this change that needs to happen. You're totally in denial of this change. The Tower is a moment that we call them the Tower moments, but the Tower moment is a moment where your foundation crumbles, where your world starts crumbling down before your eyes. It's obviously a very scary time, but it's necessary for change, because whatever this tower was built on, it was not a solid foundation to begin with, and so it has to come down so that a new foundation can be built that is sturdy, that is worthy of having the rest of the structure built upon it. And when it's in the reverse like this, it's like you're denying, you're trying to avoid this crisis. You're trying to avoid it so desperately. But this tower will happen. It's like an inevitable karmic cycle that if you don't accept it or let it come in, it will crash into your life in some way or another. It will rip your world apart however it needs to in order for you to make these changes that you need to make. So if you continue to stay in this state of denial that you have these changes to make, there's something that will just crash into your life and force that change for you. And it could be something as literal as a lightning bolt hitting your house, or it could be a number of things. It doesn't even have to be a huge, it doesn't have to be that significant where it literally fucks your whole life up, but it's going to be something that shakes you up, enough to shake you up at least, if not a really significant event. But in the reverse, it's like you're trying to avoid that. You just don't want anything to do with that change. So I see a lot of resistance to change, a lot of just resistance to these natural karmic cycles that are coming around in general. So I want you to start just really meditating on that, on your healing, on what it is that you need to heal from, and where you're headed. The Knight of Pentacles, clarified by the Moon card in the reverse. The Moon card is a deep card. It's a tricky card to read sometimes. It is all about illusions and mysteries. It can be mysteries of the feminine, because it represents the subconscious. It is dreams. So if you're having dreams right now, I urge you to pay attention to your dreams, whatever messages come through there. Again, the moonlight, like I said, with this Eight of Cups, it illuminates somewhat, but it still creates a lot of shadows where we can't fully see the truth, or we can't really see what it is that's going on. So we're operating from a place of ignorance in a way. There could be some psychic abilities that are kind of being denied right now too. It's in the reverse. So you're denying that these illusions exist. You're denying that you have this like psychic abilities, and that you could be ruled by fear right now more than anything. So I urge you to pay attention to the moon cycles, definitely. And there could be secrets with this card, or just things unseen, information that you don't have yet, in order to make the decisions that you need to make, or to get on the path that you need to take. Let me do one more clarifier for this Moon card and the Knight of Pentacles. The Hermit. So in order to find out what it is that you're not seeing, you need to go into Hermit mode. And again, you're denying that as well. Like there's so many reverse cards here. It's kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever had so many reverse cards. And it's this Hermit mode is necessary at these times. And it's funny because we have the Hermit also right here, remember? So here he is, and he's trying to usher us into the deeper levels of our subconscious, and he's trying to get us to go inward. We often as humans like to project outward, and we like to, when we have people around us, it makes it easy to do that. We get to take the aspects of our personality that we don't like and project them onto others and judge others for them, or we get to see them in others and appreciate them in a different kind of way than if we saw them in ourselves. And so it kind of like, almost like it makes us feel better about ourselves to see that displayed in another person. But this is about cutting yourself off from others and from society for a while. It doesn't mean you have to completely, but it means really making a conscious effort to be alone and to take that time to use in order to go deeply within and find the answers to the questions, the answers that you seek. And this is about knowledge seeking, because he's the way shower. He's the knowledge seeker. He has the candle that illuminates the truth in the darkness. He lights it up. So I think it's interesting that it is accompanied by this Moon card. We have these darker kind of aspects going on, but if you continue to deny this Hermit card, this is the work that you have to do in order to get past this illusion. So there's some serious illusions that are surrounding you, and things that are eluding you, and you can get to the bottom of them with a little bit of hermit time. So time in quiet contemplation, in meditation, being honest with yourself. Those are all good things to be doing right now. Let's move on to the Death card in your future. Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be tricky. It's like a lot of people see this as like a trickery card, or like a mischievous someone. It's kind of like a scandalous card where someone is doing something behind someone's back, but it's not always. And I hate to peg this card as that, because there's a much deeper message here as well. It's like you returning to something quietly to study it, or to revisit it, because you need to take something back that was left. So it could be you going back and revisiting something and taking what was yours. You're still leaving. There's one sword that he's leaving behind, even though he's kind of sneaking off. It could be your exit strategy, and just kind of this is a strategy card also, because he has to strategize his exit, or his escape from these wolves. And in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's a man running off from camp. There's like a camp in the background that you can see, and he's stealing these swords. So that's where they get that thievery comes in, and they think, oh, well, a lot of tarot readers, when they see this card, they just think, oh, there's somebody stealing from you, there's a thief or whatever, or somebody being sneaky behind your back. It's not always that. It is It's a card of stealth and trying to make a plan as to how you're going to get out of this. So I'm not exactly sure like how that pertains with the death card. It's like maybe you're trying to revisit this so that you can let it die. You need to go back and study it so that this cycle can come to an end. So take what resonates with that. I'll just go ahead and pull one more card on that one. We're 45 minutes in. I didn't want this to be that long. Nine of Pentacles. This is the card usually of singlehood, being single individual. She is surrounded by wealth and beauty. She's a well-off person. You can tell she has a lot of wealth. But there's an underlying message here, which is that sometimes the things that we own wind up owning us. And just because we surround ourselves with these walls of material objects, those don't give us the joy and the pleasure, and we find ourselves trapped within them. So she is bound, she has all these pentacles, which has built these high walls in her kingdom, but yet who does she have to share it with? She has no one to share it with, and she has this squirrel who's held like captive. She's like almost like holding him captive because he has this mask on. And so neither of them are free. It's like she's enslaving him to in order to fulfill something selfish within herself because she has no one else. So again, the things we own wind up owning us. That's one of the messages here. And she looks very bored, and just there's just this, like I said, a level or a sense of entrapment with this card, where you've trapped yourself. You've built such walls around yourself that no one can get in. So that could be, I don't know how to exactly put all those together. I don't know if this cycle of singlehood needs to die, this cycle of how you see yourself in the world, or how you see your status, or if it's a relationship. It's really hard to tell with that combination right there. But hopefully something in all of that resonates with you. I'm sorry, I keep getting a tickle in my throat. There could be some kind of blockage in your communication. You're feeling like you can't speak, or you can't speak up. So one last advice card, or however many want to pop out, if they're going to pop out. Another advice card for Cancer, and then we will close this deal. So give me one card for advice for Cancer. Ace of Swords. So there's some kind of truth that has not been spoken. And it's funny, I just said that about communication, about like you might not feel like you can't speak. That's exactly what this card is about. It's about communication, and it's about speaking your truth and cutting through to the truth of a matter. And it's in the reverse, so it's like you're not doing that, or you're not communicating something. So maybe lifting that which binds your communication, and just trying to have an open dialogue with someone, or about something, will help kind of reach a level of clarity on some of these other issues. So your advice is to speak your truth, to break the cycle of non-communication, and or it could be a message of not communicating yet until you have a chance to assimilate everything that we've talked about here, until you've had a chance to go into hermit mode and really explore these aspects of yourself, and the Tower, and this Eight of Swords, this denial that you have, and finding out what is hidden from you, and then speaking your truth. So it could go either way for you. So that is what I have for you, Cancer. Again, happy birthday this month, and please like and subscribe to my channel if you will. I would highly appreciate that. So take care and have a great day.